Our Bitcoin and Ethereum weekly options just expired, so we're gonna take a look to see if we made money or not. We have our leaps that are printing money. We're also gonna take a look at the liquidation map to understand where the price of Bitcoin is gonna be. So let's jump right into it. Hello guys, happy Friday. I hope you had a fantastic week. For me, this was an incredible week. Between some meme coins making me between 300 to 400%, Peanut being the biggest one of them. I also printed on Bitcoin leverage futures and also with the leaps that we're going to be covering today. So a lot of money was made, and I hope you were able to catch some of this huge movement that we saw. So before we start, Bitcoin is at 89,260. Ethereum is at 3,090. So Ethereum looking at the bottom 3K again. Hopefully it does not go below that, because again, we would love for Ethereum to stay where it is. Fear greed on extreme greed right now, and Bitcoin still at around 60% dominance of the crypto market. Now, if we go back here to the topics on trade history, we have both here in red our puts that we sold, the 76,000 and 2,850 that expired today. And wow, guess what? We could have sold an 80K put and a 3,000 put. We would have been fine. But because of what I said, the market needed some correction, which might be happening today. Actually, 4 or 5 days ago, just the thought of 87, 88, 89,000 dollars was ridiculously high. And today, after we saw $93,000, that number is just a number, you know, it's even lower than we expected. So it's funny how to see just a few days ago, no one would expect $88,000, $89,000 Bitcoin. And here we are complaining because we just saw 93 just a few hours ago. But that being said, we got full profits. We got 8 on the Ethereum side and $15 on the Bitcoin side, 1.7% and 1.6%. As always, we could have made 2, maybe 3%, but that's all right. We have the copy trading for that, which is performing very well. So actually, let's take a look at the copy trading. As I said in the other video, we have a little bit of an update on the UI. Now you can see more months, and if you go to explore more, you're gonna see the whole data for everything you need to know analytics wise for each strategy. So in the past 24 hours, we grew by 0.43%. That is huge, fantastic returns. So copy trading, as always, we are killing it. We're rocking with the copy trading. But now let's look at our leaps. So our leaps, we have 2 in the green and 2 in the red, but 1 is so in the red. Is actually very even. So both of the Ethereum, they are the ones that are not giving us much profit. The December one, that one, again, as I said, if I'm able to close that at 50% loss, I'm gonna be happy. If I'm able to close that anywhere between 30, 20, even 10% in the red, that one will be fantastic. But those are just dreams that I have right now regarding that. But the September for next year, I don't really care if they're in the red right now, because just as the other one was the $65,000 for Bitcoin for December was 70% in the red, and now it is 10% in the green. It was even 30% a few days ago during the huge spike in price of Bitcoin. I know that for sure will happen the same thing with the Ethereum September 25. So for that one, I don't really care if it is in red right now, because I'm not going to close it. Same applies for the September $70,000 Bitcoin. And that one is actually 70% in the green, $1,200. Yesterday was $1,300. I made a video about that, showing that to you. So we're making huge profits with the leaps. So this is the boring, rewarding part of options. I opened these options here. You can see entry date September 29th, entry date March 24th, entry date April 18th. So months ago. It seems boring because there isn't much to do, but this passiveness is what will make you a lot of money in the long run, because as everyone is trading to make quick percentage each and every day, when you compound throughout the errors and you add the errors of trading, losing money, drawdowns, all these sorts of things, just buying a leap for 1-2 years ahead, and you buy those leaps 10% in the money today, man, you're going to be doing fantastic in the near future. So these leaps could stay in the red for a little bit or even sideways, but then something's going to click, and whatever movement the market does and these leaps go even deeper in the money, man, this is where you're going to make huge money. I'm very hopeful with these leaps right here, they're gonna grow my portfolio like crazy by Q1, Q2 of next year. Maybe by the end of November, first week of December, I'm gonna close the December one here. I'm gonna let the December one for Ethereum ride. Maybe I can close it, as I said, 50% in the loss, and that would be good for me anyways. So now let's talk about liquidation for Bitcoin and Ethereum. At the 48 hours, Bitcoin is right at the middle between a very strong liquidation price here around $86,500 and $192,200. If you look on Ethereum on the other side, we are looking at a lot of upside potential and or liquidation at the bottom. We have right here at 3,000 flat, we have $1.1 billion leveraged right at this with a liquidation price right here. But we also have a 32.58 right here and a 33.55 at the very top, something that we saw 2 days ago when it touched almost 3,400. Now let's get to a interesting point that was brought up by someone. Would you quit everything if you were given 10 Bitcoin today? Well, short answer, yes. I don't know if you would. I personally would. And a good question, I think I saw this on a subreddit, and a good question asked was, well, if I am bullish on Bitcoin, this would be bad because I would have to live off by selling my Bitcoin to pay off everything like rent, house expenses, food, everything like this. I will need to cash out this Bitcoin. So even though I had 10 Bitcoin throughout the years, this number is going to be going down because I have to live off of Bitcoin. And then the comments were all over the place. Some people said staking was a possibility where you could make maybe 4-3% out of that Bitcoin and live off of that. Some people gave a lot of responses and ideas on how to live off of that 10 Bitcoin. So what would you do? Leave it in the comments down below. But a very good strategy for you is to live off dividends. So if you are a traditional investor, you know there are stocks that pay dividends. So part of the revenue that they make as a company, they're gonna give it to the investors in forms of dividends, literally sharing the revenue, some part, maybe 10, 15, 30% of the total revenue to the investors throughout the quarters, maybe half a year, maybe annually, whatever that might be. So could you do that with crypto? Well, even not in crypto, even back at traditional finances, we have something called synthetic dividends, meaning that even stocks, even underlying assets that do not pay dividends, you can generate income out of those instead of having to sell in your position just to cash out that money. So how do you do that? The process is pretty much what we do with the weekly options. It means that you do have the underlying asset and you're going to sell options against what you have. So if you have Bitcoin, you're going to sell Bitcoin options. Those could be calls, those could be puts according to the market, and that is going to generate you income like we do every week, and you can live off out of that income. So if you saw, for example, this week I've made 1.7% selling our weeklies. And guess what? If we do that every week, let's say every week we do 1.7%. If you multiply that by 52, which are the weeks that we have in 1 year, that would be 88.4%, not compounded. So this is simple interest, it's not compounded interest. If you compound that, it could be even more. It could reach 100% per year. And guess what? Let's say you have that 10 Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin at $90,000, you can get one of that Bitcoin and use that as underlying asset to sell options on. So now you have around $90,000 to play with. That can go even higher because the price of Bitcoin itself can fluctuate, and you can sell options throughout the year on this Bitcoin. You can go very safe, so this way you're never going to lose this Bitcoin. You still have 9 other Bitcoin that are growing in price. The value of Bitcoin is going up, and this one just to generate income for you to live off. So let's say Bitcoin stays at $90,000, and here you're going to be making that 88% APR. Guess what? In 1 year, you've made $79,000 to live off. This is free money pretty much. It is not money that you had to sell your Bitcoin to buy that. It is not crypto that you had to farm or airdrops or any other sort of strategies. It is just your Bitcoin generating wealth, generating crypto, more USDC, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, you can swap it back to more Bitcoin if you want to hold it, if you don't want to live off of that, but just generating more Bitcoin from that initial Bitcoin to buy more things for you, to increase your net worth, to increase your portfolio position. So synthetic dividends is something that is very used in the stock market. It's something that is very well used by huge companies, by huge investors like Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, all of these famous investors. They do tend to use this to generate cash flow, to make money out of these stocks that they don't want to liquidate. They don't want to close position out of these stocks, these assets that sometimes do not pay dividends. Not all stocks pay dividends, and crypto does not pay dividends. So how do you generate wealth without selling that crypto and having to pay taxes on top of the gains of the profits that you have? Well, with this, you can do that very, very simple. As we showed you before, every Monday we do this right here. We look at liquidation heat map, we look at a lot of indicators, the strength that the token has, if it's going to go down, if it's going to go up, if we have more bullishness or more bearishness towards the token, and we sell options accordingly. Right now, we are in a period of a bull run is starting. So we're going to be looking at selling puts all over. So here, for example, if we try to sell a put for Sunday, so 2 days from now, you can see I put right here November 17th at the strike 85,000, so 5% from current price. I would need 918 bucks as margin, and I will make 16.38 back. So I'm pretty much making around 1.6% in a matter of 2 days. So isn't this very, very, very good? If you think this number is too little, it's because my capital is too little and because you're not compounding it. You're not seeing the full year out of it. You're just seeing a small number in a small period of time, just a few days, and you think this is very, very low. But again, this has a high winning rate, especially if you go very, very safe. If I go to 84, if I go to $82,000, where it's very hard for me to get liquidated for Bitcoin to go back to that price in just a matter of a few days, even throughout the weekend, then this gets a very, very profitable strategy. So let's actually open this right now. Click on sell, and yes. So there you go. If everything goes according to plan, from here to Sunday, I just made 16 bucks. I made more than 1.5% in 2 days. Again, if you compound that, you're going to be looking over 100%, doubling your capital in a matter of 1 year. So this is why synthetic dividends is so important. There's a lot of ways you can call it, but pretty much synthetic dividends is selling options to generate wealth, to generate cash flow, positive cash flow to your portfolio, to your account. This is what we're doing here at Bitopics. So if you want to check it out, there's the first link in the description. Easy and free to use. Just log in, register, no KYC needed. Check it out and comment down below if that's a good strategy, if you have been doing that for a while now, how that went for you. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. So have a happy weekend. See you.